I'm Marie March. I'm in the 7th District, which is Floyd, Pulaski, and Montgomery County, and I am now one of your legislators here in Virginia. I'm really excited to be sitting here today with Mr. Philip Van Cleve. Appreciate you coming. This is exciting. And we just wanted to talk a little bit today about some of the gun bills that I'm going to be carrying, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. So, my husband and I moved to the New River Valley, I guess about 15 years ago. We actually both went to Clemson University. We moved up to the NRV for him to attend medical school. Once we moved there, I ended up opening Due South Barbecue in that area, and I helped to put him through medical school by opening our first restaurant. We now have 4 restaurants. We have 2 Due Souths. We have another restaurant called Fatback Soul Shack, and we have a 4th well, we actually just sold it a couple weeks ago, but it was a little CBD market over in Christiansburg. We're into rental properties. We have a boarding house. We have a local magazine that we actually publish for small businesses. We have over 400 small businesses involved in a company called NRV Homegrown. But what kind of led me to become involved in wanting to run for office is I've just had so many situations with local government, so much infringement, government infringement, red tape, different things that have cost us a lot of money, cost us a lot of time, a lot of energy, lots of battles with bureaucracy, and also the Second Amendment sanctuary movement. We came to Lobby Day several years ago, and it was the last Lobby Day that we were allowed to carry guns at. So when the sanctuary movement popped up across Virginia, we were on the front leading edge of that movement in our district. We went to the Montgomery County meeting and spoke. We were at the Floyd County meeting and spoke. And we just were big believers in our gun rights. You know, all of our rights are keenly important, but our Second Amendment is really important. So that leads me to one of the major bills. There's 2 bills that I'm going to be carrying. One is to repeal red flag gun confiscation. And the second bill that I'm carrying is to get our rights restored to be able to carry on Capitol Square, which I believe is HB 2295. So I was hoping Philip could tell us a little more about, you know, when those bills passed and kind of the devastation that's happened since that.
Well, the red flag law passed a couple of years ago, and it doesn't actually help anybody that's in crisis. It's more likely to be used for somebody to get even with somebody else.
Right.
So there's Virginia already has a way to take care of somebody that's in crisis where they can get treatment, and if it turns out that they don't really need a lot of treatment, they don't lose their gun rights. Red flag just takes your guns away, doesn't get you any treatment, and then you go in front of a judge 2 weeks later. So your rights have been snatched away from you without you being able to say a word, without you even knowing this was coming.
Which violates 4th Amendment, due process, and your Second Amendment right.
Yeah, they go, you know, it's a 2-for-1. You kind of destroy the Constitution concept. So that's why that whole thing needs to go. It's wrong-headed. It's all about a way to take somebody's guns without that pesky thing of due process where you got to go in front of the judge and explain that you're innocent. Oh no, we don't want that. We just want to take your guns.
And to me, I mean, it's thought crime. You know, like you're just suggesting that someone is having a thought crime, and we're now going after people for that. That's not America.
If you want to take their guns away, you try anything you can. And
That's
it doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't have to, certainly it has nothing to do with crime or saving people's lives. So it's not needed. Virginia has something called a temporary detention order. That's where the police can take you for evaluation and help. And if you don't need any, if it turned out you were just a diabetic that had low sugars, it wasn't really a mental issue, you don't ever lose your gun rights. You know, so that's an important bill that you put in. Then, of course, carrying at the Capitol. You know, I can only imagine, you know, our Virginia founding fathers rolling in their graves for the last 2 years as we took away the right of the citizens who own this whole building
And people have had the right to self-defend here at the Capitol for over 200 years. This is one of the most historic capitals
Yes.
It's the founding capital of our country. So for 200 years, over 200 years, well over 200 years, people have had the right to self-defend, and that was just taken in the blink of an eye.
And for no reason. There hadn't been a problem.
Right.
There have been no issues going on. They just decided to take it away. Maybe they were planning on doing stuff so wicked that they were afraid of the.
Sometimes you wonder.
Well, I think it's been said that government should fear the people, not people fearing the government. Because after all, the government is there because we, the people, created it. We needed a structure so that all, like for example, at the federal level, so that all the states had the common currency, a common defense of the country. So government was something we the people created, but it's a servant. If I owned a mansion and I had a butler, he's my employee. If I came in the house and he told me, Phil, I know I work for you, but you're going to have hamburger tonight, and I'm going to have the filet mignon and lobster, he'd be out on his ear. But that's what government does to us all the time. It says, we're going to get to do this, but you citizens, no, you guys, we don't trust you. Who is a servant to tell their boss that they don't trust him? So this is where things have kind of gotten askew, and what your bill would do is put that back in the proper relationship.
And I have a very selfish reason for carrying that bill. I have a place now in Richmond, and I have to walk back and forth to the Capitol. And so being a female, I need to be able to defend myself. Richmond's a very dangerous city. There's lots of stuff that goes on here. And, it's very concerning to me as a concealed carry, as a lawful citizen, to have to disarm, and walk through the city of Richmond up here to Capitol Square, and to the building that I have my office in. So, to me, I think it's very dangerous being a female, and it's just not good. We're lawful citizens. We have the right to carry.
You have the right to defend yourself. If your life, if you can't defend it, then it's not worth much. And I think your family would disagree with that whole concept that it's not worth much. You're all they have. And and it's, again, all of this to appease really a small number of people in this building that want to be in total control of that. So that's an excellent bill, and that's like number 2 on our list of things that VCDL.
And I believe there's a lot of citizens that quit coming to Lobby Day. I mean, I know due to COVID restrictions, but also, because they don't have the right to carry. People in Southwest Virginia, they're fearful of big cities.
Sure.
There's a lot of criminality. There's lots of things that happen.
Well, Richmond passed all this local gun control, which is the other thing we're going to be working to get rid of. And their crime rate went up 40%. So we know it doesn't work. We told them it wouldn't work. They passed it. Now the crime is up 40%. So that all needs to be reversed. And then crime will drop back down. But you got people that just want to disarm us so bad they don't care what happens to us. And
I hope the citizens will really reach out to legislators and let them know just how important these bills are. You need to write to, I don't even know where to begin. The majority leader, that would be a good one. Write to your localities, your senators
and delegates, and tell them to get out and
tell them they need to support these bills. They've got to.
And as much as I hate telling anybody to attend something disarmed, we've got to do it at this point. It's we're stuck with it because there was a bad election 2 years ago. We can't run and hide. We've got to come out and fight to fix this so that in the future we don't even have to think about this anymore like we used to. We just showed up for Lobby Day. If we needed to visit the Capitol, we could, and we didn't have to worry about our security.
That's right.
We can get that back.
That's right.
But we're not going to get it back if we stay at home and don't fight over this. We need to stand up and protect rights.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you meeting with me today, and anything I can do to help. I'm pro Second Amendment all the way, and I'm pro our God-given rights and the right to self-defend. So you all just let me know what I can do.
Yeah. When I found out real quick how strong, how fervent you are about Second Amendment rights, we had met earlier a few weeks ago, and it's all of that's clearly on your plate. I mean, you're
Where we own rental properties, we have a boarding house, and there's people that have come out of incarceration, and they're a rough crowd. And you know, sometimes just the sight of a gun on your hip deters trouble. We've actually had that happen even at one of our restaurants. We had a situation where two people came in late at night at our bar. It's a bar restaurant, so it stays open pretty late. They had put their hoods over their heads, and they were acting like they were up to something. And two of our waitresses went into the kitchen and got our older son, Jack. And at the time, Jack was somewhere between 18 and 21, and he could not carry concealed, so he carried open on his hip. He came out of the kitchen, and as soon as those two characters saw the gun on his hip, they immediately turned around, walked out, and 45 minutes later, the Long John Silver down the street got robbed at gunpoint. So we've had enough deterred situations to know, you know, there's all these, you know, uses of guns that the gun never leaves its holster. It's just seen, and the opportunistic criminal goes away.
9 times out of 10, if you're in a situation like that, you'll never have to use the gun. Only 1 in 10.
Exactly.
It's very rare, but that's because the gun is the ideal self-defense tool.
That's right.
And that's why they want to take it away from us. So we won't let them do that. So.
Right. Well, thank you so much for coming today. This was excellent.
Let
me know what I can do.
Appreciate your help with this.
Thank you.